Now we'll give her 1 second. I'm gonna share this out on social media real quick. Um, and then we'll start rolling with it. But we are live.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I use my phone to do this. It's easier than my
I
computer.
got you. Yeah, for sure.
Are you going Thursday night to the Moto movie night?
I might. Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I just popped up a little image of this. People, if you want to see, there's a movie night at Broovies in Salt Lake City. I'm gonna be there. Hopefully, Steve is there. But this is to raise funds for the Utah Avalanche Center. We're gonna watch a really awesome Alpine Assassins movie. I believe you're in a lot of those videos, right?
Yeah, that good group of guys. Randy is also an Avalanche educator and just an all-around great guy. He owned Alpine Assassins. So
Yeah,
I used to ride with those guys. I still do ride with them at um yeah, so they made some really cool films and the internet kind of really put a damper on the film industry, but it was a lot of fun making that kind of stuff.
yeah. I still think that the industry wants a couple movies.
You
Like
know, I think so too.
I do, and mainly for reasons like this. Um,
Yeah. And like the also like since the movie we killed the movie industry, the like the that's part of the reason those shows are dying too. There's no reason to go anymore. But like remember like just a few years ago we went to the Boondockers premiere and like
yeah,
everyone's there. That was it's so fun.
dude, it's
And I
like a whole
think
weekend, right? Like getting
yeah.
all jazzed, like you do right before the snow show, and so it's like see all your homies Friday night, do the snow show Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I can't walk, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
exactly.
it's a good time.
Yeah. I think a lot of it too that it's probably just as bit our fault as it is the internet because like if I find something me and you go riding and we find a cool feature
Yeah,
to that we me and you have it on the internet an hour
same day.
later.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah,
driving
we
home,
don't.
driving
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah. Brr.
Yep.
But we're not saving anything for the fall anymore. Maybe we should do that. It's hard to
Yeah.
save though.
Dude, I have
But I
actually I have a ton of stuff of you from this season that I haven't shown yet.
cool.
But I've been wanting to put together like a new YouTube, video that's super banger, so,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but anyway, we'll start our show. My man Steve Martin, he's on
Yeah, happy to be
tonight.
here.
Yeah, so we got a couple things we'll talk about. Um, I asked the internet a question. I said, "Hey guys, what would you like Steve and I to talk about? What would you like to hear from us?" And then I had some of my own personal like I have to knows, obviously stuff related to the new 26-year model
Oh yeah.
sleds. And I really wanted to dive into a discussion about free ride versus summit, X versus expert. Um, I think so many people they are on the right brand snowmobile for
Yeah.
sure, but I don't know that they're on the right model of it. You
I
know,
agree.
and so
Yeah.
I think when we need to break down the differences between those. Um, but let's start with what the people have asked. So on
Okay.
Instagram the other day, the people first they asked about 200cc races. When's the next? Your kids are racing. I went up to a race with you earlier in the season. I had an absolute blast. I'm like, man, I wish my kids were doing this. But yeah, talk a little bit about the 200 stuff.
Oh, it's really cool. The next one is actually it was supposed to be in Evanston, but it was over 50 today and we lost all the snow. So we're going back to Beaver Creek Lodge. And
Which is awesome.
it is it's an amazing facility and they're completely snowmobile friendly. They're an uncharted destination, but Nate made a half a mile long course there. and it's so cool. So if you have a 120 or 200 in northern Utah, bring it up. It's like super friendly, that no low pressure, just it's a lot of fun. But they run it at like a triple crown format. They run three races, three classes. So there's 120 stock, 120 mod, 120 open, and 120 open is good for engine swaps. And
Mm.
200 stock, 200 mod, and 200 open, same thing. So if you have like a Predator 206 stuffed in your 200, then come race it in open mod. It's awesome. So
uh,
it's I want to look at the date right now because there has to be a ton of 200s and 120s in northern Utah. Yeah,
there
so
is.
it's March 15th.
March 15th. Yeah, you guys should go. So I put up a post one day. I'm like, hey, who has a 200 I could rent? And dude, I swear like 20 people messaged me and they're like, bro, just come get
Yeah.
mine. Come get mine. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, where are all you guys? Like it's like it's a really cool place to do a race. Nate's also been working on the track. It's looking sweet. It's got some bank corners. Like he's done a good
And
job. He's built the jumps up a little better. Hopefully hopefully kids don't
sweet.
die.
Yeah, I just hope, yeah, I have more faith in the kids than I do them jumping that poor little snowmobile, you know?
Yeah,
You know, and I was also gonna suggest at one point, I'm like, man, we should do like a dad's race on 200s, but then I'm like, "Nah, I'm just gonna have to break this thing, you know?
dude,
So
we
I'm gonna
have to.
save it.
Yeah, yeah. Last race
Especially if
is
you were
May
there. I would
2nd.
just definitely smash you into next week.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
um, what's so people asked about your best dad jokes. Obviously, your Instagram is full of awesome comedy. What's been your favorite one this year?
My favorite one, probably the dream one where Jen's like, I had a dream about you.
Oh
Was
yeah,
I on my stomach? That one was pretty fun.
yeah.
Dude, it's
I was gonna say I really like the float like a butterfly.
yeah, me and you did that one. I I always know if it's gonna be, especially when I'm with you, if I can make you laugh, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. And it's like
Yeah.
the last year when I was doing the belt one, remember? Like the
Oh
about
yeah.
the that one was good too, and you were getting different angles, and you were laughing. I'm like, oh, this one will be good. And then this time of year has been busy with 26 launch,
Yeah.
so my focus goes to there. But now we're like, that's out, and now I can start going back to some silly stuff a little bit too, and then still promoting the new product. So I
Yeah,
need to.
I've been getting jealous, man. You've been with Ski-Doo riding all the time, and I'm like, dude, what, like
I know. I just
I'm all
abandoned you for a
I'm
month.
all over on the side of the mountain by myself. I
I
have
know.
some really cool things though that I want to film. Some cool zones I found.
Yeah. You
So
sent me that one. It was like Pillow Land the other day, and I was like, man, I need to
yeah,
get home
there's
and
some
go
good
try that.
stuff. So the reality of going between IG clips, day to day managing life, and riding hard and having fun. Like how do you manage all of that? I mean,
Um,
you're pumping out the content like crazy. You ride a lot of miles. I mean, you ride a similar amount of miles as I do every year, and I'm on the
yeah.
snow a little more than you just because I work on the snow. But yeah, it's
It's I'm fortunate because I have a cool job. Well, it's I have a yeah, it's a cool job. I work 7 days on, 7 days off. So um on my 7 days off, I ride every single day. Like all seven. On the weekends, we either go to youth snowcross race or the kids ride with me Saturday, Sunday. And if not,
yeah,
I'm lucky I have friends like you that can ride during the week. I have a couple cool dudes in town that ride during the week. Shout out to Hugo and Trevor. Like it's pretty rad that they're around. Mine and my dad. Like it's my
yeah,
dad's he had works on stuff on the side, works at the Ski-Doo dealer, helps them out at the dealership he used to own a couple days a week, but all productivity screeches to a halt when I'm off because we just ride every day. So,
it's
and I
true.
just like, and then all it like we do pump out, especially you and I pump out a lot of content, but I just love doing it. So, but it's really easy when I'm with someone like you, like DJ's like has a good vision for like what would look cool on camera. And so sometimes you'll tell me, hey, hit that again, or well, how about you jump off of this or whatever. And I try to get as much stuff banked in those 7 days that I can use. And then it gets me through my work week. When I'm at work, every couple days I post something. So not on the snow every single day, but like on
Half the
average, every other
days.
day kind of thing.
Yeah,
Half
yeah,
the days, yeah.
yeah. No, it's rad how much we get to get out and ride. My
Yeah.
schedule is I've like tried to more purposely open it up so we can go ride just because when I guide and every just teach and stuff every single day, it burns me out and I'm like, I want to go ride my dirt bike or something. But yeah, when we can get out and shred, oh, so fun. But
Yeah, yeah. It's because we ride similar too. We're both, and you know, I tell all my friends like about you and like it's so fun riding with you because it does not matter what situation we're in. Like, I am not like a I don't know how to explain. Like, I'll ride if it's concrete or it's slushy or deep snow. You're the same, and we
yeah.
always have fun. And it's like I've been in situations with you where like you cleaned half the top of your sled off, the headlights are gone, and there's still a smile on your face. Yeah, where you're just laughing, like you're always in a good mood. And your sled's upside down in the water, and that kind of thing. Like that's what I really like riding with you. It's like whatever
Dude,
situation we're in, you're always having fun.
yeah. I love riding, you know. It's like it's definitely always been life. One day I'm going to tell the story on how riding saved my life. But that's a long one. But yeah, I mean, you have to enjoy it no matter what. Even if you suck, even if you get stuck 500,000 times, you're going to have
Yeah,
fun. It's going to be a good day. Um, I'm not stoked on the snow right now, but I have a group I'm taking out tomorrow, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna make sure of it,
yeah,
you know, even though the sleds will probably overheat on the trail 50 times.
yeah. And it's good once you get up high. You just have to muscle through that
Yeah,
first 5 or 6 miles, and then we were up today with my kids and had a great day up there. The
nice.
snow was soft at the top, and it was fun. But the
Good,
first few
good.
miles, it's froze.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah,
So you mentioned your dad in there. Somebody asked, how long has your dad been riding?
man, we were talking. He was talking about it today, and I want to say since he was a little kid, and he probably doesn't want me to say he's almost 66 years old,
You never
and
know. The man
yeah, you wouldn't
hangs.
know.
He can
Yeah,
hang. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but he told me like he would go work on his uncle's farm for the day, and like halfway through the day, be like, "Hey, Claire, do you want to ride the Ski-Doo?" And it was an old
Yeah.
cylinder Ski-Doo Olympic, and my dad would just ride it until it ran out of gas. So,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
like his whole life, since he was a kid too.
Yeah.
And he was a factory um, cross country racer, like in Canada. He used to race as well, so it was always in the blood for sure.
Is that kind of how you got involved in racing snowmobiles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He also cross country raced dirt bikes in Canada, and then we moved here, and I started racing motocross when I was a little kid, like 5 years old, and then
Yeah.
we did like locally, nothing real serious. Always loved it. And then when I was 10, the snowcross series in Idaho, Utah, Wyoming was really big when I was younger. Like a lot of the top pros came from this area. And so when I was 10 years old, that was like the youngest you could race. And that's when we started doing it. And then by the time I was like 14 or 15, it was pretty serious. Like we were like
Yeah.
racing every single weekend. So, and it was more just for fun and embracing winter. And
Yeah,
so it's
it's
cool.
kind of funny because I was talking to him, a couple weeks ago when we were out and I was asking him about racing. Oh, it's when we went up to the 200 race and I rode with him.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I was just asking him, I'm like, he was telling me all about racing back then, how big it was in the West.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, now we just have kind of, obviously we have the Hill Climb series and we have, what's left of the Snowcross series. And it's just like wild to think of like how small it is compared to what it was back then.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer.
It is. And I don't know, I'm not exactly sure what it is because Maybe people just realize or just want to go riding on the weekend because I don't think really snowmobile participation hasn't dropped off, but just
Yeah.
racing has. It's a big
Yeah.
commitment when you could just go riding and enjoy this. Our mountain sleds are getting better and better, and so maybe it's more fun. I'm not really sure what because it seems
Yeah.
like there's a small resurgence of local racing in the Midwest, so I'm hoping that bleeds out here too.
Yeah. I mean, I know like with my dirt bike clients that come out here and go on tours with me, a lot of them from the East Coast, and they're just like, dude, we don't have places to ride. So if you want to ride motorcycles, you got to race. They have,
Oh yeah, yeah,
organized races all over,
yeah.
but um, we don't have that problem out west, and
Mm-mm.
maybe that's why you see a little bit more of that there and a little less of it here.
Yeah, I would agree too. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, they asked how long we have both been riding, or how long we've been riding together, I should say. Try to think. It's been some years now.
So, at least 10 years. I saw that on the list because we were both on like 2015 XMs the first time
Oh,
we rode sleds.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we rode dirt bikes before that. So
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you
can't
you
remember if
guys
I
showed me
kept.
single track around my hometown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a
I didn't
long
even know
time
it
ago.
existed.
Yeah, we should
That
go
was so
back. I
fun.
think that was around 2000. I was on a 2012 CRF 450
Yeah.
that time. So
I think I was on
somewhere in there.
a 2009 KTM 250 XC is what I was riding.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it was
It
a
was
couple
fun.
years old because
Yeah, I think yeah.
the
I'm sure, yeah.
Boondocker dudes all talked me into buying a KTM to go ride the climb cow tag ride, the first ever one back. It was fun, and that's when I fell in love with enduro. But yeah, it's kind of funny to look back on,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and how much things have changed. You know?
Yeah. Their bikes are way easier to ride now, and the sleds are obviously like leaps and
Yeah.
bounds better every year.
Oh man, yeah. Let's see what else. Um, so we kind of somebody said talk about your sexy wives.
You just have to find like visually impaired women. I don't know. Like we really outkicked our coverage on that.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, do you need glasses? Do we need to? She got LASIK some years ago, and maybe it's gone bad again. I don't.
Yeah,
We gotta.
like not only that though, we're lucky we get to like do all this snowmobile stuff, and our wives are cool
Yeah,
with it. I have some friends that aren't allowed to do anything, so
yeah,
shout out to Jen and Jessica for being awesome.
yeah. When I was going to Nepal, when I got invited to go to Nepal and ride in September, I was like, I can't do it. Like I just can't go, and I have too much stuff. I have motorcycle tours. Can't do it. And she was like, "You're going. You were absolutely going." And I'm like, And
Good
yeah,
thing you did.
yeah, it was one of the coolest experiences of my life, and
Yeah,
she was just as stoked as I was, for it, which is
yeah,
it's good to have a cheerleader like that.
for sure. Someone that supports you because like
Yeah,
we're not gonna be able to do this forever, so it's cool that we're taking advantage now.
yeah, yep, dude. Our comments are blowing. Well, Ryan Searle's blowing us up in the comments. He he said, "Oh man, that would have been a rough day riding XMs." No, XMs are actually sweet. I rode an XM the other day. One of my clients had one, and I was like, "Dude, can I take that for a cruise? I just want to." And that sled ripped. That was one of my favorite sleds. That's like the sled that really changed the whole game for me.
Yeah, yeah, you
You
ripped
know?
on yours, and I really liked mine too.
Yeah, it was fun. That was like one of the real last mod sleds I ever built, though. Like I did a ton of lightweight parts on it.
Yeah, it had yours had a skins hood on it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Mine, ran a Boondocker turbo on mine, and that thing ripped.
Yeah, yeah, they're really strong on those Boondocker turbos. Are really strong on those sleds.
Yeah, especially an 800, man. That was fun snowmobile
Yeah,
for sure.
Do they let you in their youth races? I mean,
Is that a Ryan Searle comment?
yes, that's a Ryan Searle comment.
Yeah, well, if I shave, yeah, and I have to keep a hat on all day.
Yeah, right.
I'm the
Same.
ringer. I would get beat probably.
Yeah, same. Some of those kids are quick, man, especially your
Yeah.
kids. Um, well, Ryan keeps asking questions about Ski-Doos, so let's talk about the 26-year model sleds. You've gotten to ride them. I'm sad I have not, gotten to ride any cool sled yet. Um, I'm jonesing to though. I can't wait.
Oh yeah. Yeah, hopefully we get another opportunity this spring, but we'll see. But I've
Yeah,
have
it's
like 10 days on the new stuff already, so
yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Tell us.
dude, it's amazing. First of all, the Summit X, that was probably the shining star, I would say, because like everyone thinks that they need an expert just because it says expert in it, but the Summit X, like Jay Menneberry and I were talking, like, dude, how do you pick one? Like
Yeah,
because the Summit X is like 12 to 14 pounds lighter depending on what track length you get. If it's a 165, it's a little lighter because of the cooler configuration. Has a lightweight S module, lightweight upper A arms. Last year they did the lightweight KYBs, and we have that again. And the coilover rear shock, which is light and it's faster responding, so that adds to the light feeling. Lightweight cooler, super short tunnel.
yeah,
That thing, it's unbelievable. It feels like a toy when you're riding it. Like the 14 pounds is significant. And
yeah.
I'm not the best at reentries. And like I was riding with my buddy Cooper Sugihara last year, and I did a really cool one day. And he's like, "Hey, do that again." And I told him, I'm like, "Dude, I'm like 50-50." So the very next one, when he pulled his camera out, I did one, fell off the sled, and it ran me over, and then went coasting down the hill. I'm like, I told you, but I'm a machine on a Summit X because it's so light, and I think it's because I'm a little shorter. Some of those tall guys can get it to come right out of the snow, but I that's how the Summit X is to me. And after riding an expert now with the DS4 skis and the stiffer suspension and that full rod track and the T-Motion XT, to get on a Summit X, it's like it's power steering, because it's
Yeah,
easy to ride. And I think like even you and I ride really fast and we go find nasty creek bottoms and high consequence terrain, but majority of the terrain is probably it would enjoy a Summit X more, would take less
yeah,
energy. So
yeah. I need to get
yeah,
back
let's
on
do.
one because
Yeah, it's like some days you had a your expert sitting in your trailer and the snow wasn't great, but you rode your edge a lot this year.
yeah, yeah. I've been
And because
riding
that's
my adrenaline a bunch, and um, it's really been a lot of fun. You don't. I think we get in our heads like we need turbo or something, but man, I'm telling you, my 154 adrenaline NA sled will go anywhere. I
yeah,
might have to work a little bit harder in a couple instances to get it there, but man, it's a fun sled. And it feels so light. Like it's
that's
insane how
it
light the
too.
thing feels.
Yeah, exactly. So I think but because an adrenaline an adrenaline edge or with edge package, sorry,
Yeah,
that's
that's
basically
yep.
an in season X, at least for 25. So it had the same shock calibration as a Summit X. You just didn't have the same running boards. Edge has or Adrenaline has the stamped running board, so that's like the big difference. But
Yeah,
that's like what a great snowmobile. But I went with a Summit Expert for next year because of the 32-inch front end. It's incredible.
yeah.
They added the twin link system, which it's similar to rack steering. It accomplishes nearly the same thing without the weight penalty. So it
Mm,
reduces bump steer. Um, of course, it's 32, so it's super easy to side hill, but with the twin link, and they put a lot of engineering into removing steer slop and flex in the steering system.
yeah,
So it cuts a straight side hill across old tracks, bumps in the snow. And I think for me, because I'm shorter, and that gives such an advantage for me for riding really steep terrain. And I
yeah.
rode it so much, I jumped back on a 34 and it felt wide.
Oh,
So I'm
that's
like, oh man,
crazy.
yeah. And going down through bumpy trails, when I first rode it, I'm like, man, this thing's gonna be a handful in a bumpy trail. I was like, we'll just deal with it. I really think it's better than the 34 with this single pivot steering.
Wow.
Yeah, it tracks straight. We were riding it a couple weeks ago, and it was like this freezing fog. Like every 100 feet, you'd have to scrape your goggle, like the
Yeah.
frost off your goggles. And I was just like going 40 miles an hour through like whoops, and I could do it with one hand, and it wasn't trying to like no feedback in the handlebars. It's
Oh, dang.
incredible. Yeah, it's so cool. That's what it is. Like it's not just they didn't just put narrow A arms on the existing setup. Literally everything between the riser and the skis, brand new, engineered for that. And
Yeah.
I I imagine I wrote it last year with engineering. We talked about it in that global reveal, and I imagine they have thousands of miles on that before I ever saw it. So people are skeptical, and I understand that, but has a lot of engineering and testing.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how much these guys test sleds ahead of releasing them. It's not, I mean, with any manufacturing, the, you know, Can-Am, same thing when the new Can-Am Maverick came out, it had, they're like, oh, what's that weird, you know,
Yeah, that'll never work.
spindles on it. And dude, the thing
Yeah, I
is
mean,
amazing. So,
yeah, it probably has hundreds of thousands of miles on it before you even lay eyes on
yeah,
it, I would imagine. Yeah, and then another cool thing is when the team designing all this stuff, they're really good riders too. So
yeah,
like they know what they're looking for and what they're, when we're like, sometimes when we're giving feedback or they're reading comments, yeah, they pick up on that. That's what we're feeling, that's what we're seeing. And so
yeah,
and
yeah,
the
smart
entire
guys.
snowmobile. Yeah.
Dude, that's rad. I can't wait to ride one. I know my buddy, he's a DSM. I think he's going to be in Utah here in a few weeks. So I'm hoping to get out and demo it. Or maybe they'll be nice enough give you a prototype. You
I don't know.
know?
I don't think there are a lot out there, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
Please, Ski-Doo, please. Give
Yeah.
Steve one so I can ride it. Nice. Um, so what's the right sled for somebody? The free ride versus the Summit X versus the Expert? Like what do I what do we get?
Man, that's a good question. And the first thing you have to really realize is one, like we in the deep snow lineup, we have the Summit X with expert package and the free ride.
Yeah,
And not there isn't one that's better than the other. They're just tailored to your riding style. I think free ride is the most easy to explain. It has KYB Pro 40s that are valved 50% stiffer than the previous generation of free ride. It has T-Motion XT, the solid rear arm, a 15-inch full rod track, and the DS4 ski. It's like meant to be super precise and high capacity snowmobile, like huge jumps, huge drops.
yeah,
Because like um, that thing is valved really like I in the spring I launched that thing and that thing is bone stock valving. That sled is right out of the crate. I put shorter bars on it and ride it, and
yeah,
you know I can land in bomb holes. It's like, 5 years ago, I was having to revalve suspension just for the spring. Don't have to do that anymore. So if you're a jumper, if you're going out with your buddies and shoveling jumps and looking for cornices when the avalanche danger is low, then free ride is for you for sure.
yeah,
And or if your trails are hammered and you have a lot of hammer trails and you want to race your buddy, that's it. And then that's where then it gets tough. Like, do you get if jumping's not for you, then you have to decide X or expert. And I'm stoked the X got so much love this year because I think it will direct more people to the right snowmobile.
yeah,
The expert is phenomenal at everything it does. Like, I think if you're riding super technical terrain, like sometimes, like when you and I go out, or when we look, sometimes I look on Google Earth and find
yeah,
these draws. Like you and I talked on the phone yesterday, and we're like, you're telling me about a new creek you found that's walled out. It's
yeah,
nasty. That is expert territory where it's like I say high consequence terrain, like you're side hilling over open water or Like I have this clip I saved that I'll post soon. You're side hilling uphill on like a 45-degree angle in a creek bottom, and on the left of me is a rock wall. And I ended up in that rock wall a few years ago when I was
Yes,
with
you
you.
did. Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, and I'm better snowmobile now, so I made it right by. So that is expert territory. But if you're like Ski-Doo DNA characteristics, it's super light on the front, super playful. That DS3 goes where you want it to, but it's still really easy to steer. But it's
Yeah,
not as precise as that DS4. And the shock valving is a little more forgiving, so it's not going to wear you out as much, and that helps it feel super light. And I
yeah,
mean, it is now that with all these changes they did, it is super light. I like we did, and especially this time of year, we're doing like 65, 70, 80 mile rides, and I like to go see as much new terrain as I can, or I'll be on one ridge, look two over, hey, I've never been there, let's go there. I'm just
yep,
touring through the mountains, like that's a Summit X for sure.
yeah, yeah. That's I mean, that's what I've been doing lately.
Yeah.
And
It's like,
I really love the expert. It's been an amazing sled for me, but I've noticed a lot of guys who I'm like, yeah, you might want to just try the Summit X. I think that you'd like it better, and a couple of them have, and they've confirmed it. But they don't ride necessarily the type of terrain I'm riding. I'm always in really bad spots. I'm like, why am I
yeah.
here? you know. But I have the sled that's like I feel really confident in that terrain on, and that's why I love the expert so much. So for me, I'm like expert again next year. Maybe also get a Summit X. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. In a perfect world, it'd be really nice
Yeah,
to have both for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. I was
I
like,
usually
we went,
usually I have two
I,
sleds a year, and so I like having a sled that's not an expert on some days.
yeah, for
But
sure. Depending on who you're riding with or what the
yep,
goal of the day is.
yeah.
Yeah. we I told you about this ride I did the other day. It was like, we started at, I was like, oh, there's this draw. Like my dad and I went way down, and then it kind of gets like walled off with trees,
Hmm.
and it gets really tight and steep. And we're like, "Ah, I don't know what's down there." And we're always like, we need to check it out. And then my dad ran down there one day, just a few days ago. And he's like, there's tracks coming up from the bottom. I'm like, oh, really? So the next day we went down this. I brought like 5 dudes with me, 6 dudes.
Yeah.
And me and my dad are going down and down and down. And I'm like, I could kind of see these old tracks, but it was really steep. And it got off camera. I got to a point where I was like at 9,000 feet, 8,500. And there was like no snow. And it was like I could tell it was either a horse track or a single track dirt bike trail. And it's on south facing slope,
Oh
and
man.
down below me is the abyss, and you couldn't go down there, so I'm side hilling, and I was like so glad I was on my expert because I could cut a perfect side hill. It's
Yeah.
like I have no room for error here.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and
It's
I
it's a
like,
it's a confidence inspiring sled in that terrain. You
yeah,
know.
and I think a lot of it too is like how much speed are you carrying everywhere? Because um I ride with my dad most of the time. We go to the same places, but he has how can I say it? Like I don't care if I have to put a front bumper on my sled or not, but
Yeah.
he doesn't tear up machinery. Me and you, I carry front bumpers. If I break a hood, I just buy another one. But
Yeah.
um, like I'm carrying you and I carry a ton of speed through the trees, side hills. I like when if I'm side hilling on my expert really fast and I hit a bump and it comes right out of the snow and I can land back in that side hill and it's predictable, it sticks, keeps going.
Yeah.
So. And maybe you care about, I don't want to say that because I really do care about my snowmobiles and they always look good and I fix them, but, or maybe
They do.
you
You have
don't want to.
some awesome sleds. Like your sleds are
Oh, thank
always
you.
minty. Minty.
Yeah. But I take some risks going through the trees sometimes, so I'm
Yeah.
got like narrowly dodging disaster, but that expert allows me to do that because it's so precise.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
It looks
yeah.
cool and yeah.